Welcome to the internet's only fantasy football draft lottery, I assume, because who else would do this? We are in year 9 of Battle for Salt Springs Road. Next year is year 10, the big blowout, where we do all of the things that we ever talked about, drafting in exotic locations, kicking people out, doing none of those things, and still drafting in Youngstown, probably at, I don't know, the fair this time. Sorry it took so long. Combination of life and trying to think of something witty and clever and involve the dog, involve the kid, involve people that come to visit, and involve other things, and just never got around to getting done. But with essentially what it is, 2 weeks until the draft, maybe 3 weeks, thought it was good to get this in your hands so that you understand what terrible draft position you have. Also is always a great time to boast about the championship title belt over my shoulder that I still don't have because Joe hasn't given it back to me yet. So hopefully I have it for the draft and for the season. Yeah, so nothing witty, nothing fancy. We've got a pumpkin. And inside the pumpkin, we've got 14 Duplos with your name on it. We'll pick them. I'll give you a little bit of history on who is picked, and we will go from there. It's Friday. It's not quite 5, but it's Friday, and we work from home on Fridays. So, without further ado, let's go to the pumpkin. I'm gonna... And with pick number... Sorry, that's probably loud and you can't hear. Pick 14. Paul Bozen. Let me tell you about Paul Bozen. Paul Bozen usually drafts in the middle of the round. 7.13 is his average position. He was 8th last year in the draft, 13th the year before. His best ever draft position was 3rd in 2015. His worst, obviously, was 13th. Last year, Paul made the playoffs. He's got a 49% career winning percentage, 49 total wins. He's made the playoffs 5 of 8 years. He's never finished with more than 8 wins. He did that last year and in 2011. His average finishing position in the league is 6.5. He finished dead last in year 1. But he hasn't been worse than 9th since then. So, Paul, you were drafting last. Not a terrible position because you get back-to-back picks. Picking 13th. Sorry, I should be showing this so you know I'm not cheating. 13th, David Ross. What can I tell you about David? David Ross has a 53% winning percentage with 55 total wins. He's made the playoffs 6 of the 8 years that he's been here. The last 4 years, he's finished 8th, 11th, and 9th. Complete difference from the first 4 years where he started 4, 3, 8, and 4. He's got the 4th best draft position of all time. He's picked first 3 times, 2016, 2013, and 2010. His average draft spot is 5.88. He's also picked at spot 11th twice. David has never finished or drafted this low. Again, his lowest has been 11th, so this is a first for him drafting this low. So number 12. Number 12 is his brother, James Ross. James Ross, I can tell you something about James Ross. Many things. 49 career wins, 47% career winning percentage. He's made the playoffs 5 out of 8 years. He averages at an 8 on the position ranking every year. He had his best finish last year when he finished 3rd after a really, really great start and then just turned it out towards the end. He finished last in 2011. His average drafting position is 8.38. You'll find out that these average drafting positions are all around 7 or 8 after so many years. And random selection, everything should go towards the mean. It's math. Last year he drafted 13th, so one spot better this year. Congrats. He was second the year before. And James has drafted 12th once before in 2011. So way to go, James. Picking 11th. 11th is Dauber. Dauber, what can we say about Dauber? There is plenty to say about Dauber. Out of my notes, he has the most notes. The mostest with the noteses. 64 total wins in 8 years. 5 more than the next closest person. 62% winning percentage. That is the best in the 8 years. He's made playoffs 7 out of 8 years. The next best is 6. That's David and Parker. He finished 8-5 last year. 5th place finish. He's never finished worse than 9th place. He, of course, is your 2013 Parker Bowl champion. His average finish is 4.5, which, of course, is the best out of anybody. Out of 18 total players that we've had in this league, Dauber has the 3rd to worst drafting position, and this will only make it worse. His average position, again, is 8.75. His best pick ever was at spot 4. That year is the year that he finished 9th. He picked 7th last year, and he's picked 7th twice before. Now he's picked in spot 11 this year. Number 10. Number 10 is Mannion, right as he's sending me a text message. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Okay, Mannion. Number 10. Mannion has 55 total wins in his career, 9 less than Dauber. He has a 53% winning percentage. He's made the playoffs 4 out of 8 years, but hasn't touched it the last 3 years. He's finished 9th, 12th, and 10th in the last 3 years after finishing 1st in year 1, 1st in year 3, sprinkled in with a 7, 10, and a 3. He's definitely the MVP of the first 3 years, if not the first 5 years. He is, up until last year, our only 2-time Parker Bowl champion of 2010 and 2012. I joined him last year. He is the worst drafter of all time. He averages a 9.5, and this, again, will only make it worse, drafting at 10th. Last pick in 2010, and that's the year that he won it all, in year 1. He had the last pick in 2011, which was pick 14. He's picked 12th the last 3 years, so 2 spots better this year. He did pick first in 2014. That is Michael Mannion. Here comes 9. 9 is Tom Brady. And I will tell you things about Adam. Adam, who finished 2nd last year in the playoffs, the runner-up to the Parker Bowl. He's been 7-6 the past 3 years. He has a 51% winning percentage. 53 wins, 5 playoff appearances in 8 years. He's never had more than 8 wins. He had that in year 1. He finished 3rd 2 years ago. 2nd last year, of course. His worst position ever is 11th. When he's drafting, he's averaging a 7.25. Last year, he picked 11th, so 2 better this year. Way to go. He's picked 3rd, his best position, twice. 2012, 2016. Way to go, Adam, number 9. Drafting number 8. Oh, sorry. Number 8 is Shay. Tell you things about Shay. Also, between Adam and David, it's probably close, super close, as to both of them are the best to have never won a title. It's always been David, but his past couple years, and Brady's better past couple years, have put them in a similar position. So Shea is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. I'm doing a really good job of keeping track. Shea is 8. He is the 2014 Parker Bowl champion. He's played in 7 of our 8 years. He has a 49% winning percentage. He has 45 wins to 46 losses. He finished in 11th the last 2 years. Last year, he drafted 14th. And the year before, he drafted 14th. So, great job to you for getting selected at 8th. His best was 3rd pick in 2013. Shea, number 8. Number 7. Picking 7 is Wojo. Wojo, recent father, was still a father, is a father again to somebody new. Has a 57% winning percentage, has 59 total wins in the 8 years. That is second best to Dauber. He's made the playoffs 5 out of 8 years. He has finished 11th once, 10th twice, including last year. His average finishing position is 6. His last playoff appearance was in 2016. He, of course, is your 2011 Parker Bowl champion. He has the second to worst draft position of all time, 8.88. So far we've had the worst Dauber, the second to worst Wojo, and the third worst Mannion already pick in the bottom half of the draft. So, but this should help Wojo's position slightly, picking now at 7. He has never picked better than 9th until last year when he picked 1st. So now he's got 2 better than 9th with this year's. His worst position is drafting 13th. Way to go, Wojo. Picking, god damn it, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Picking 6th. Phil Eckenrode. Phil is the newest of members into our league. Phil has played 4 years. This will be year 5 for him. He had the first pick in 2015. His worst is 10th that he had in his first year. He's got a 48% winning percentage, 25 wins to 27 losses. Has 2 playoff appearances in 4 years. He finished 2nd in his very first year in 2014. He finished 2nd to last year. And 12th in 2015. So here's to a better year, Phil. Boy, this is fun. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Picking 5th. Picking 5th is Joe. Actually, I think Joe is the newest guy, not Phil. Maybe not. Yeah, Joe has 3 years. So Phil the second to newest and Joe the newest. 59% winning percentage. Second to Dauber. He's made the playoffs twice in his 3 years. He is, of course, your 2016 Parker Bowl champion. 5-8 last year, though. Finished 12th. He was 2nd the very first year, and obviously 1st in his 2nd year. He's drafted at positions 8, 6, and 6. And so this one at 5 is better. Way to go, Joe. 4 more to go. Picking 4th. George Dubich. George has been in the league 7 out of the 8 years, I believe. Yeah, and he's made the playoffs 4 times. He has a 47% winning percentage, 43 total wins. His average finish is 8.7. His best is 4th in 2012. He did finish dead last in 2015. Finished 6th last year, 2017, made the playoffs. His average picking spot is 6.5, so this is better at 4. Congrats. He did have the first pick ever in his first year, and he has picked dead last twice, 2013 and 2015. So picking 4th and breaking Parker's streak of picking 4th the past 4 years is Dubik. So we got 3 left. myself, I know, Jake, and Miguel. So, 3 left. Let's see who is 3, 2, and 1. Picking third. Your boy. Defending undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. With somebody who stole his belt and won't give it back. The Commish. 52% winning percentage. 54 total wins. Have made the playoffs 6 out of 8 years. I am your defending champ. I am a 2-time champ. I've traded my way into both of those. My worst season ever, and anyone's worst season ever, was 2016 when I won 2 games. And that was when a child was coming. A child is coming soon as well. So hopefully that's fun. I am the first person to ever win it all with a losing record in the regular season of 6-7. I have the 3rd best finisher out of anybody. I mean, I would think that Turbulence is the best finisher out of anyone, but okay. I finished 3rd best at 5.75 average. I am the best active drafter at 5.13 average position. This should make it even better. Don't ask me how that happens. All of this is random every single year. And again, I mentioned before, I have drafted 4th the last 4 years. My worst position is only 10th, and that was in 2011. So hooray me. So, the last 2 are Miguel and Jake, and as I go down my notes, they are the last 2 that I talk about, because it goes from best in the league ever to worst in the league. Miguel is the 13th best owner out of 14, and Jake has been our 14th best owner. You could translate that how you want, but let's be positive for these guys. So, picking second. Jake. Congrats, Jake. So Jake is going to pick second. He picked 10th last year. He picked 1st in 2012. He picked 13th, his worst, in 2014. His average position is 5.6. He has the 2nd best draft position of all time. It's interesting. So he and I are drafting pretty well year over year and have top 3 picks. He's got a 41% career winning percentage, 43 total wins. He's made the playoffs twice in 8 years. He finished 7th last year, making the playoffs for the first time since 2012. 3 times he's finished with only 4 wins, and 1 time he's finished with 3 wins. His average finish out of 14 is 10.75. He was in last place 2013 and 2014, second to last, improvement 2015 and 2016. And again, last year he finished in 7th, which is great. He did finish 5th in 2012. I think he had like 10 or 11 wins that year. Way to go, Jake. Hopefully this allows you to keep playing in our league if your wife finds out that you got the 2nd pick. And the first one in the pumpkin, obviously, Miguel. Congrats, Miguel, on pick number 1. Miguel, you picked 2nd last year. You picked last in 2014. You've been in our league for 5 years. You've made the playoffs 2 years. You have a 43% career winning percentage. You have 28 total wins. You finished dead last year. So if we think of this in terms of the worst team gets the first pick, congrats, we did it. Your best finish is 4th in 2015. Your average drafting position, I know you're surprised I'll hear this, is 8.4. And again, you picked 2nd last year, 1st this year. So things are looking up for you. So we've got this tower of folk that hopefully I don't knock down before I write them all down, because I did such a really good job of keeping track as I went. That is our draft position. Again, we draft on the Saturday of Labor Day, September 1st, high noon or whenever Dauber arrives. We are at Steamers, a fine restaurant in North Lima. We will have a great position for us in our group to be able to spread out a bit and enjoy friendship time, draft for a bit, groan because it's going on too long, and then go our separate ways and never see each other again for a year. So really looking forward to seeing everyone. It is, without a doubt, my favorite weekend of the year every year. So Looking forward to seeing y'all. Yeah, bye.